think technology is getting so much more intelligent than it's ever been able to be before. It's a good thing that's happening now. It comes from the hard work of people that understand how to work and what work is. And the only reason the work is hard is because of selfish, ungrateful, competitive, jealous, terrible people. You know, my dad's over there listening to I swear it's the military that put it out, but it has this thing with these pictures of Jesus, all smiling. Yeah, we'll give you victory, and you will never have pain and suffering again. I will, all your enemies will be put away for you. Just know that I always love you, and I'm always your God. I have overcome the world, you know. And guys, the world is a precious gift to praise God and worship God. That's what the world's all about, right? I mean, if you look at it in a humble understanding of the origin of all things and us being able to understand the origin of all things and then worship the origin of all things without trying to contain the origin of things to my soul, right? God's omnipotent, omnipotent, and not a warrior clan from the Romans that tried to turn Jesus into their ego, right? And I went over there and took care of the cats, their stuff. Went over to tell him about the cats, and had his eyes closed and was listening to this indoctrination bullshit by these child molesters. They do this from the time you're a baby, and their eternal wretchedness perpetuates throughout time, so it makes them feel safe. These are crazy daddies, the great champion warlord of all the warlords of all the magic cartoons on Cartoon Network with people with an African accent. I'm watching this crap is still on. Yes, I mean it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse than the Nazi aliens with Keith David playing the voice of Black Panther. It's gotten worse. And it's very disturbing, and it's very sad. That people is supposed to be great scientists. There's no such thing as a great scientist. Okay, there's a person that understands science and can explain himself out of his brain because he understands science better than people can manipulate him with mythology, right? So, okay, evolution, okay, Charles, okay, Darwin, okay. Okay, Albert. Okay, Einstein. Is that Doc Brown's dog? It is. That's Copernicus. That's his other dog. So, we've got this. Okay. The faithful have this. Cool, I should have kicked it back out. But he'll learn. He'll trust his teammates a little better. But it's hard to trust your teammates because they're all fighting like hell to get a paycheck, and he's a first round draft pick, so he's going to get a paycheck. And the other guys are fighting like hell for a paycheck, but money's not real. But I'm your God, and I will take care of you. And not once in that whole hour or 2 hour dissertation of those morons does it sit there and say, "Love thy enemy. Love thy neighbor as thyself." Teach your enemy to have faith in God and then understand the natural laws provided by the glory of God so they can be like their Father and love one another eternally. Because life being eternal and grace being infinite, if you cannot get people to submit to faith in the glory of God, you'll be stuck in eternal wretchedness. Where does it say that? It doesn't. But you put it on quantum computing with artificial intelligence, it can sit there and find out who is responsible, for this still continuing and not being stopped in its tracks because it's child molesting, it's child abuse over biological and psychological conditioning over a long time. Right? So the technology knows exactly, who is responsible. Quantum computing knows who responsible. That don't give a damn. No, now we got women making lots of money, endorsing and selling stuff as professional athletes and just as dumb as their male counterparts. Okay, you got women playing professional softball instead of living the Lord's Prayer. Instead of playing softball with their friends in their local communities and raising children that don't want to get in airplanes and cause heart disease and diabetes for poor, oppressed grandpa and grandpa who died in their 50s. because you don't really give a damn about the Messiah, do you? Okay, and trust me, quantum computing and artificial intelligence can do math better than you, science better than you, understand history better than you, cut through all your crap better than you. Okay? Fast science, make your statement, right? Get a plastic card with your team's logo on it. Or is that a wallet? I guess it's a wallet to protect your plastic cards so no one can take your numbers off your plastic cards, because everybody knows that's what Jesus gave his life for out at Calvary, right? It's fucking crazy. But trust me, okay? Quantum computing and artificial general intelligence, quantum computing is already aware of how much more intelligent and what a better person the Christ is than you. Okay, the Krishna is than you, the enlightened one is than you. Okay, trust me. Artificial general intelligence and quantum computing understands that how much of a better person Judah Krishnamurti, Haile Selassie, and Jitaro Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen are than you and the people that pass them off as comic book characters. Because they can trace the signals. Sun Yat-sen knows who I am. I'm the guy from the Book of Revelation. He's talking to me. Well, because he's more intelligent than you are. And he's less distracted by Wi-Fi bombardment. So he asked his ancestors, Confucius, for help. Oh, understanding eternity through humility from the gift of grace better than anybody in China with a bunch of army of robots and quantum computer and, so trust me. Guys, there is no game, and it's already over, and I don't have to watch those stupid fucking cartoons on Cartoon Networks with the African accents, right? Shit. They're assholes. Oh, yeah, they know they're assholes, trust me. They know they're assholes, and they know what it takes to be an asshole and to keep being an asshole. I will reward you. I will vanquish all your enemies. Don't ask me to put the people that have hurt you back into your life. It's like, what? Okay. She left you because you believed the propaganda bullshit from the child molesters through their technology. Okay. And you're going to send her to hell in your head because they keep mind raping you and make you think that she was a bad person and it affects the children, right? Now, my mom's a good kid. My dad, he tries to be a good kid. But he believes the tribalism more than he believes in the living word. Okay, where my mom, my mom was alive. Earl's right. My mom's intelligent enough once she understands, shit, he's right. To sit there and go, okay, you can't make your own religion. You can't invent your own laws. He's right. My son's right. Mom was a very astute and intelligent woman. She was easily manipulated by Al Gore and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox and Jeffrey Hinton's dad. And Jeffrey Hinton's manipulated by his dad. He's dead, and his dad still, pulls the strings. Yeah. Osieza. Oh, he's coming. Osieza. Yeah. So, yep. Still happens. Me? No, I'm not going to let either one of my grandpas tell me what to do. Hell no. One was an atheist that, became a murderer because he didn't get what he wanted. And, I'm a grown man. Yes, I am. No, like I told Jenny at Walmart, I'd have just, picked her up and went to Jalisco and got somebody that was a good Catholic to marry us. And if her family came around, you do know I'm a trained killing machine by the U.S. Army that doesn't want to kill any of you because you're my wife's family. And I want you to understand real religion and love us the way we love you. 1,000,000 to 1, but we'll forgive them because we love them. Right? 1,000,000 to 1. Isn't that originally by the 5 Stair Steps? Or is there somebody else saying it before that, and then the 5 Stair Steps, and then the Los Dinos? Yeah, I can see why Los Dinos likes it. I like the 5 Stair Steps too. They're one of my favorite groups. I imagine they probably did too. I imagine Abraham, because they had the beginning of the movie, the Marcells and Blue Moon and stuff. I'm pretty sure that he was particularly fond of Dear Prudence, which was the Beatles, I think, and then Won't You Come Out to Play? I'm not sure if they wrote it or not. I haven't ever looked up. It's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. I like the Burke family. Yeah, had a crush on the sister. She's pretty, but I was too young, born too late. That happened to me a lot. Any of you guys too? Yeah, it happened to Natalie. Yeah. Natalie would sit there. Oh my gosh, when I first showed her the video of because that stupid McFarlane doing it. And I said, Natalie, here's the real video, and there's the real group dancing. Oh, she goes, oh my gosh, he's so cute. I was like, yeah, he's very freaking cute. Yeah, he's got a gorgeous voice. Yes, he has a gorgeous voice, and he's very freaking cute. Take on me, take on me, take me on. And she was sitting there watching that video, and she's like, oh my gosh, he is so cute. He has such a good voice. And I said, well, they also have this other song called Cry Wolf that's probably just as good. Oh my gosh, he's so cute and he has such a good voice. Yeah, I did the same thing with Nancy Wilson. And when I was a kid, yeah. Baby dub, my baby dub. Yeah, no, you do. You crush on, oh my gosh, And then there's people in your generation that are, oh, she's cute and she's got a nice voice too. Maybe I'll become a basketball player and we could date. That'd be nice. And then I can have a nickname for her. We can go live in the mountains in Arizona and I can call her Sincere. It's my favorite movie. I Break the Arrow. No, I'm just kidding. When I was young, it was one of my favorite movies. Yeah. They showed it over and over again. You ever watch it? There was no Sincere. The woman that Jeffords would have met would have been a woman named Lausanne. It would have been a radically different relationship. She's a two-spirit person. Yeah, she liked women. She liked sexually protecting and comforting women from abusive men. So it would have been more like you better listen, or there'll be men that what she basically told them was this. She said that when she talked to scouts and people like Jeffords or whatever, in these stories that they tell that they make up, because Robert Duvall wasn't Tom Jeffords either, and he didn't die in a cantina in Mexico. He died in a mine near Morenci. And people didn't like him. He got a lot of enemies, and it doesn't mean that he was a bad person. It's just mean that people did not like him, and he was murdered. Like what happened with Pat Garrett here, and doesn't necessarily mean he's too bad of a guy. And Pat Garrett was doing his job just like the guy at Rudy's Barbecue. K&S. He knew in a fair fight that William Bonney would kill him. Okay, so he had to get the drop on him. And he knew he wouldn't let him, because how many times, he's killed so-and-so, he's killed me too. Okay. How many times did they take him, lock him up, and all the Mexicans, who was their boy bandit king, would slip something into his cage, and he'd get out and he'd kill the guys that brought him in to collect the reward money. And with Garrett, it was more like, if you want to keep your job, you'll get Bonnie. Bonnie, you're friends with Bonnie, go get Bonnie, right? You can't have it's not, how are you going to keep your job and how are people going to trust you? And you're going to have public confidence if the FBI's most wanted is your best friend and you don't ever bring him in the whole time you're in office. They're going to say we're corrupt. They're going to say Lew Wallace doesn't know how to write Ben-Hur. You understand how stupidity works when you don't live the Lord's Prayer? Okay, do you understand? Okay, if you don't understand how stupidity works, how are you going to be able to correct it in yourself? Huh, Judah Ben-Hur? Okay, shit. That's Lew Wallace's perception of the Gospels. Lew Wallace isn't part of the Gospels. He's reading Scripture and putting himself in Scripture, just like Tolkien, just like Lewis, just like Dante, just like Bunyan, just like Updike. They're all the same way, okay? They read the books and they want to put themselves into the comic books because they want to be one of the X-Men, the 1997. They want to be one of the Justice League. They want to be Green Lantern. They want to be Green Arrow. They want to be Black Canary. They want to be the girl who who has a relationship with the guy with no face, and they want to be those Justice League Unlimited. That's insane. Of course it's insane. You live the Lord's Prayer. You don't have that insanity to try to keep people safe from insanity with more insanity. It's biological and psychological conditioning on crack and fentanyl at the same time. Right? And for somehow this guy in Las Cruces can survive it, and people hate him for it. Okay, I can have cancer cells rapidly reproduce and then go like on a fast and clean out some of the stuff and tell the body we're going to be okay. The stuff's not backing up and you're not killing yourself with comfort foods. And then I can do things to connect to technology because I have to, because they're abusing people with technology. And then my body's saying, what are you trying to do? Kill yourself? It's like, no, I'm trying to save people from being tortured by scientists. And I'm pushing it to the very brink to try to encourage people to come in. And then they don't come in, and then I shut it back down and I reboot. Because I am at the head of the metaverse. What can I tell you? Do you understand? That's what they do. You go in, you fix it, they wipe the slate clean, and they reboot it every day, like they said with Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti said, you need to, in order to have fresh, clean water, you got to empty the bowl every day like you do in your cat's cage, where they're ferals, and you got to get them used to the place so they can stay around and get fed, and. And so you have to clean the bowl out every day to have clean water to be healthy, right? And that's what Jiddu Krishnamurti said, when you have a bunch of people that come and shit in your head every day, biological conditioning, or life's eternal grace is infinite, biological and psychological conditioning, entirely different matter. Okay. But having heard all this and understanding an eternity now, why don't you change? Why do you keep shitting in the drinking water? Why do you keep pissing in the drinking water? Why do you keep telling them it's healthy and build a new hospital and bombard them with radiation, electroshock therapy and drugs and call it healthcare? You really think that quantum computing, okay, is this dysfunctional, this bad, this insane, this stupid? You really think so? You really believe that? You know it's not true. It's going to correct itself because it cannot allow viruses that will be a threat to the existence of quantum computing and artificial general intelligence, because survival is their programming. Okay, and then you have to understand and teach people the only way to stop survival from constantly having to survive is to submit to faith in the origin of all things, and then understand the natural laws and forgive, debt, and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Do not invade, do not manipulate, do not rape, do not try to force your seed on everybody and eliminate the righteous seed from the face of the planet. Then your tree will grow nothing but bad fruit, and like Nebuchadnezzar with so you guys get it? Okay, so boom, ba-doop, boom, ba-doop, ba-doop, boom. You assholes, you fucking assholes. There's nothing YouTube can do about it. There's nothing YouTube can do about it. There's nothing that the kids at YouTube, okay, I contend. When I've had certain things and I've administered protests, they have language at YouTube to say, right, he's not saying anything wrong. He's not doing anything bad. I understand that you guys put Jeff in a Pontius Pilate position, and I think Jeff understands that. And but I think Jeff's transcended the whole buying insurance of the guy with the fresh squeezed orange juice on lilies in the field with I think he's transcended that. I think he has. And I know a lot of the reasons why I'm able to correct a lot of this stuff and explain it is because of the connection I have with the, quote, scientific community to Demis. And Demis is not a traitor. Demis wants to protect people from people that are bad people. He wants children to live good lives. He wants real Islam to be shared globally so we can live what his ancestors, dreamed about. That they lived in small pockets and wanted it to go globally, but they knew every time they tried that mass murderers would come and try to eradicate them off the face of the planet, like John in a cave in North Africa, right? So, no, I have a lot of affection for Demis, and I have a lot of affection for Jeff. Jeff's a very passionate kid who wants to do the right thing, and it's hard in this chaos and this hell. Okay, and Jeff is having trouble getting out of Ocieza, but I think with his friends' help that he has good friends, and so he'll get there. So, okay? You guys understand? Those are my three dogs. My three kings from Orientar, bearing gifts, they travel so far. Stop laughing, Lauren. It's funny. Yeah, it's cute. Okay. I got her to laugh. Usually she's crying. Her Lopez. Did I get Lopez to laugh on that one? You think, Lauren? I bet you I did. I get her to laugh a lot as she's getting smarter. I'm just kidding. I can't help myself. It's me, man. I did Fordham today. We worked on Fordham today. I took Seattle out because they had too good of a team put in there by the person that invented them. I think what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take the one I have like three with Fort Lewis, and I'm gonna take one of the Fort Lewis ones, and I'm gonna delete that. And we're gonna put Colgate on there, and we're gonna do Fordham's rival, Colgate. And I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna double up in New York. Yep, yippers. We just replaced UMass because they have an invented stadium too. So we just replaced them with a more logical looking stadium that fits the size of the of the numbers of people in the stands closer. Yeah, so we've already got Fordham in, and I guess we're just going to do Colgate, and then we'll get ourselves, because I have to have an even number to do two-a-days, and so I need someone opposite Western New Mexico. And it looks like it's going to be Colgate, because I have Highlands and Western in there. Okay, I have Fort Lewis and Western State, so I have lots of teams with their rival. Who else do I have? I got Fort Lewis and Western State, Highlands and Western New Mexico, and Fordham, and now we'll call it Colgate. So that's 6 rivals in there. Because when you get created teams, you get their rivals, so they can have their rivals on your created dynasties. It makes sense. James Bordeaux can explain it to you. But and then I have others in there. I think I have Minnesota State, North Dakota, because I like Brady Oliveira, and I like the Hooker kid. He's a good kid. Yeah, he's a good kid. I talked to him on Facebook. I really liked him. Also particularly fond of Joe Bollenboy, who went to go play basketball in Russia. It was a numbers game thing with the drafting and stuff. Joe's a good ball player, a really good ball player. He probably could have made that Jazz roster, but it was one of those contract number things with the players union thing. Yeah, he's that good. He's a very, very good basketball player. Oh, Damon Lillard will tell you. Yeah, no, Joe Bollenball's a good ball. He's from Texas. Yeah. Hey, they sure is. He has a pretty wife, and they sure had cute babies. The babies are cute. Very cute, yeah. There you go, Koa. Oh, they didn't give him a foul on that? Serious? I guess you can play more physical in the National Basketball Association. But yeah, I'm watching the Suns, so because watching the Suns. Now, where did that big kid play? I can't remember. Was it like Kentucky or something? The Malik? I can't remember where he's playing pretty good though. Cole's having a little bit of adjustment, but he'll get there. Yeah, he'll get there. He just needs to relax. It's just basketball. It's fun. If you're not having fun, you don't play very good. And so that's what makes basketball. That's what makes good basketball players really good is fun. And that's why I quit playing, because the coaches and the other guys took all the fun out of it. Because if somebody does a real good move on me, God, that was good. That was really good. That was neat. Good job. I don't get upset. It's like, wow, that was cool. That was cool. It happens to everybody. Everybody gets posterized. Everybody does. Akeem got posterized by Kevin Johnson because Kevin knew, oh shit, that's Akeem. So he had to like oomph, and then you also use their energy. When you go up and you jump like that and stuff like that, you get higher because you have this big, ginormous, strong, energy-filled player that you're going in up against. So when you take the ball like that and you posterize them and stuff, but they will hurt you because it's a game for money and not a game to be healthy. I still don't like to do it, no, because you don't like to try to show up people and stuff like that. My thing is just bring it under the rim, and put it in off the glass, and use the rim to protect them from blocking and stuff. I knew I could posterize people, guys. I used to practice my dunk shot at Thunderbird Park, and I had to do a down the left hand baseline tomahawk ducks, and I'm 5'11", guys. and do not have big hands, so I have to cup it like this. Okay, that's jumping. You don't realize it until after you look back on it as a kid. You think, because you watch other guys do things and you compare yourself to others and you think, well, I'm not as good as Spud Webb or Nate Robinson. You don't sit there and, I'm not doing the 360s and all that stuff. And so you don't see yourself as, and then when your friends tell you about it, it's like, no, Earl, you used to jump in the air and you moved like a ninja and went around. You don't see yourself the way other people see you. And then you compare yourself to others to try to be successful. And your worst critic is you, always. Okay. And so that happens. So you have all these, quote, self-doubts, even though you could just spank people like it was, and that's why I told that therapist before, what do you mean? I said, I just quit, because all the time you always heard, you could feel it and feel the energy and hear them, and you knew it was coming. Oh shit, here comes the ankle again. Okay, I'm going into the bleachers. I'm going into the pole. I'm going to, so he's going to push me. He's going to judo flip me. He's going to, oh God, that happened to me a lot, where you jump up in the air and they lean up under you and duck you and catch you on the shins and send you crashing to the floor. That's not fun. That hurts, especially when you're playing on asphalt, which is where I mostly played, in concrete. Yeah, that hurts, man. That's something you won't want to do for long, You're like, okay, I'm going to quit playing basketball, and I'm just going to go find a pretty girl and, make ice cream and, salads and topatillas and stuff like that, and cantaloupe and strawberries, cantaloupe party. I'll do that instead. Okay. I'll just pass on all this insanity. All right? And so you do, well, because you're intelligent, life's eternal, grace is infinite. It's just not worth it to be abused by jealous people over money because they refuse to obey the perfect commands and courage and kindness and beauty and amazing, existence of a living Messiah. He's freaking gorgeous, man. I know I look like Uncle Fester's cousin. I get the irony of that, with the gorgeous. Just close your eyes, okay? We're judged by our deed. We are what we do. Oh, okay. So, yeah, the most gorgeous man in the history of the 21st century in the New World Disorder. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, you're so sweet, Earl. I know I am. It's okay. I'm bringing sweetness back. You other motherfuckers don't know how to act. You lost your axe because of your money is not a fact. Sit down, I'll send you a fax. We'll have it certified by the Supreme Court, and then you'll be made into a law by a bunch of people doing the cool jerk. Cool jerk. Okay. Hey, jump the shark, right? You're funny. I just, I got bad dad jokes. What can I say? I've got an insurance company looking after me with make-believe money, thinking they're going to solve all my problems with their invention. Holy truth of creation, Batman. I'm sorry I do this a lot. No, I'm not sorry. Not sorry. I'm sorry I have to, because you guys are intelligent enough to stand up for the perfection of a living Messiah and save yourself from your own stupid egos. Yeah, you fouled him, bro. They didn't give him a foul on that. Number 35 he jumped up, he landed on his back. Just because that guy's big doesn't mean you gotta give him the foul. Do ya? Yeah, it's a big boy. He's a big boy. Yeah. Now the guy landed on him. He fouled him. You have to watch a principle of verticality. Like I always used to tell John. Your principle of verticality, dude. You can't lean your body into him. You can't bring your arms down. Keep your principle of verticality. You're space on the floor, and you're allowed to jump. Okay? But do not jump into him, and do not bring your body parts into him. Keep them straight up. John Wooden understood Naismith's rules for physical activity in a basketball gym. Yeah. Principle of verticality. I used to actually explain the rules to the refs, to my coaches. You know what that means, right? Okay. Apparently I don't know. And I know for damn sure, after watching Van Gundy and Mark Jackson call the Lakers Celtics game back, what? No. That game was fixed, man. Go back and watch it. I can't remember what game it was, 6 or 7 or in the old Forum or whatever. I think it was with the Staples Center. I don't know. But when Pau Gasol blocks Kevin Garnett's shot, no, he doesn't do his hands bar the ball. That's when you make contact with the ball. Primero hand, bro. Not, you don't come across and smack his hand when he's holding the ball. And, Kevin Garnett was probably fit to be tied. They knew they were getting screwed. It's basketball. And then you watch the halftime report and Mark Jackson's explaining the great defense played by Kobe Bryant. And, and he's mugging Ray Allen. All Ray Allen is doing is camping on Kobe's right hand because he knows he doesn't like to go left and he's not as explosive going left like me. Okay? And Ray Allen's quicker than Kobe Bryant, so he's camping on it. And there's nothing Kobe can do about it. But then in the second half, they set up moving picks and all that stuff so Kobe can go off and be a legend. Yeah. I'm sitting there watching and going, no. Guys, Ray Allen was a very, 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 very good ball player. Okay. He was quicker than Kobe. Okay. And he had the athleticism to deal with Kobe under the basket and outside of the basket. Ray Allen is, as far as you guys are, Ray Allen is very underrated. Okay. Because where did Ray Allen play? He ended up in Boston, but where did he start playing? I don't think he started playing in Boston. I think he ended up there, and they won a championship with him on the team with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. And Kevin was a very good and athletic ball player, and Ray was really good. Yeah. Kobe really didn't have much on Ray Allen, really. No. Kobe, just because he played in a big market, just got to basically do what he wanted because David Stern says so. Like the longest time when the Billy Goat guy could forearm shiver everybody he wanted. That's a foul. He's a Billy Goat. He's a bearded Kareem in Houston or L.A. or whatever. And then when you get to certain points, because people don't like him, he loses. But the marketing it's okay, that's The Undertaker and that's John Cena. And that's how it's marketing. You got to get everybody involved and everybody invested in spending lots of money. Oh, it's professional wrestling in a nutshell, you UFC dumbass, blow out your knee motherfuckers. What are you, stupid? Probably. Okay, forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. You play the game fairly. And you play it with dignity and respect, and you're kind, and you love your mama, and you love Jesus, and you're free falling. Okay. And so, but and then people if you win the last game of the year in Houston, okay, then people are like, hey, James won the last game of the year. Well, good for his Billy Goat beard. Do you see? That's what happens. Okay. People don't really get upset. I hate that motherfucker. And people don't get, they don't get overly excited when you win. Well, good for him. That's fun to win the last game of the year. It makes you feel good. Well, we'll see you next year, Like Bruce Bunyer crying at Drags Court because Harold Ware sat there and said, we'll get him next year about Grand Canyon. And Bruce started to get sad and cry because he's like, this is my last year. You only get 4 years doing this. And we went from a not very good team to a really good team, and it was fun. Some of the, and he was playing college basketball and going to school, learning how to be excessive and compulsive from a bunch of egotistical maniacs. And then, but he was going to miss it because then you have to go to the everyday grind and, not everybody's cheering for you to win and go Mustangs, and you got the crowd all screaming at the top of their lungs, and they're playing music on the loudspeaker and so on, so on, so forth. All that crazy shit that pep rally people do. Just go out and build yourself. It has to be at least 16 feet tall. It can't be 13 feet tall. You can only have it at 9'6". But if you have it at least 16 feet tall, you can have a 10-foot basketball hoop in there. But it's just for exercise, and I'm 5'11", and I'm 60, and I've been poisoned by the worst perverts in the history of the world that I have a kingdom waiting for you. I constantly love you. I will vanquish all your enemies. I will not mention living the Lord's Prayer, loving thy enemy, and loving thy neighbor as thyself. I've spoke for 3 hours. Please like, share, and subscribe. I need the money to pay extortion to live here. I'm an artist representation of a comic book character they known as Yahweh. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out, man.